Today, we're going to dive into this incredible story from the Agni Purana. It's got everything: a righteous king, a very mysterious fish, and yeah, a prophecy about a flood that's going to end the world. But really, it's all about survival. And it asks a question that's just as relevant today. If you had to save the world, what's truly essential?
So before we even start, I want you to really think about this. I mean, it's a huge question, right? If you had one boat, what would you put on it to represent the best of humanity? What knowledge, what life, what potential do you preserve for a brand new beginning? Just keep that in the back of your mind, because that is the exact dilemma our hero is about to face.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a king named Vivasvata Manu. Now, this was a time of great piety, and Manu was basically the gold standard for righteousness and devotion. He's performing his daily rituals by a river, just a quiet act of faith that is about to lead to an encounter that will, and I mean this literally, change the course of history.
So as Manu scoops up some water, he finds this tiny little fish. But here's the thing. The fish speaks to him. It's pleading for its life, begging for protection from all the bigger fish in the river. Manu, being the compassionate guy he is, decides to save it. And this one small act of kindness, well, it's about to have consequences he could never have imagined.
Okay, what happens next is just completely wild. Manu puts the fish in his little water pot, but like overnight, it gets too big. So he moves it to a larger jar, and it outgrows that too. He takes it to a lake, and you guessed it, pretty soon the fish is basically the size of the entire lake. You can just imagine Manu's growing sense of awe, right? Finally, he realizes this creature needs, well, the whole ocean, and he carries this now colossal fish to the sea.
At this point, I think it's safe to say King Manu knew he wasn't just dealing with a fast-growing pet. This was something else entirely, something divine. And releasing the fish into the ocean wasn't the end of the story. Oh no! It was just the beginning of a massive revelation.
So once it's in the vastness of the ocean, the fish finally reveals its true form. It turns out to be Matsya, the very first avatar of the great god, Lord Vishnu. And he's come to Earth with a message for King Manu, a message that is both immense and absolutely terrifying. And this is it. This is the moment the whole story just turns on a dime. Can you imagine hearing these words? This is the warning, straight from the Agni Purana. Not just a storm, not a bad flood, but a Pralaya, a total and complete dissolution of the world. The end. That was the shocking warning Lord Matsya had for the king.
So what exactly is a Pralaya? Well, it's not just an ending. Think of it more like a cosmic reset button. It's this cyclical process of destruction that actually clears the way for a whole new creation. The scale is just mind-boggling. And Manu has just been told it's happening in 7 days.
You know, getting an apocalyptic warning is one thing, but what do you actually do? Well, luckily for Manu, Lord Matsya didn't just show up to deliver bad news. Along with this prophecy of doom came a blueprint for survival, a very, very specific set of instructions on what needed to be saved.
The mission was huge: build a great boat. But the real challenge wasn't just the construction project. The hard part was the curation. What do you actually put on this boat? What is so fundamental, so essential, that it absolutely has to be carried over into the next age? The choices made here would literally define the future of the world.
And Lord Matsya's list was fascinatingly specific. It really boiled down to 3 key things. First, Manu himself. He represents righteous leadership, the continuation of humanity. Second, the Saptarishis, the 7 great sages who are basically the living libraries of divine wisdom and knowledge. And third, all kinds of seeds, representing the potential for all of nature to be born again. You see, it's not a random list. It's a blueprint for civilization. You need leadership, you need wisdom, and you need sustenance.
And here, you can see it for yourself, a page from the Agni Purana. This is where that divine mandate comes from. It's not about saving every single animal or person. It's about preserving the essence, the progenitors, the knowledge keepers, and the very seeds of life. It tells you so much about what was valued most.
So, with his instructions crystal clear, Manu gets to work. He builds the boat, he gathers what he was told to, and then, right on schedule, the world is consumed by water. But, because of Manu's faith in his actions, that spark of life wasn't put out. And that leads us to the incredible climax of this story.
This is such a powerful image, isn't it? As the oceans are rising and there's just chaos everywhere, Lord Matsya comes back. Manu uses the great serpent king, Vasuki, as a rope to tie his boat to Matsya's horn. And then the divine fish literally tows the boat through this cosmic storm, keeping its precious cargo safe and guiding them toward a new world.
And so, after the Pralaya, a new world dawned. Manu became the father of the new human race. The Saptarishis brought forth all the sacred knowledge needed to guide them, and the seeds were planted, allowing nature to just flourish again. Everything that was saved on that boat had a purpose, and it all formed the foundation of the next great age.
Which brings us right back to where we started. See, the story of Matsya and Manu isn't just some ancient myth. It's a really profound thought experiment. If we were facing a Pralaya today, what would we choose to save? Would it be the internet, scientific formulas, art, or ideas of government? What are the essential seeds of our civilization that you think must survive to start the world over? It's definitely something to think about.